focusing on different record labels over the last sort of few months of this year. We've reached the letter Z, and yeah, it's really good to be able to give it to ZZK. They're going to explain a little bit more about who they are and what they're about. I was in Buenos Aires last year, did some stuff. I played at Sonar Festival out there and had a fantastic time, and managed to kind of connect with some musicians and bands that I've been playing for a little while, like King Koya, like Chancha Via Seketo, and Nicola Cruz as well. And they're all signed, and they do stuff for the ZZK record label, born out of the ZZK Club nights in Buenos Aires. Our label focus, the letter Z. After this is ZZK.
So ZZK Records was started from a weekly nightclub in Buenos Aires, a party that we were throwing called ZZK Club, where we were mixing all sorts of sounds into one night. And then very quickly we noticed that the local sounds were some of the sounds that people were enjoying most, and that got the dance floor moving. And they were also the most interesting sounds coming out of the party. I'm talking about cumbia and other folkloric sounds from around Latin America. So after about a year and a half of weekly parties in Buenos Aires, Argentina, late 2007, we decided to start working on our first compilation. And that album was supposed to be just a promotional album for our weekly party, but it soon turned into something far larger and far more exciting than a single compilation. So we released ZZK Sound Volume 1 Digital Cumbia in March of 2008. So I definitely think some foundational releases on the label starts with the first compilation we put out, which was ZZK Sound Volume 1, because it was basically a snapshot of what was happening in this club night in Buenos Aires, and it had, I think, around 16 different producers on it, and all were kind of messing around with the same sound. So it kind of came out with like a very critical mass of talent and music and energy.
De a poco muere y los malos se entretienen. La marea crece y crece y mi corazón me duele. La mariposa de a poco muere y los malos se entretienen.
Another pivotal album we had come out in 2013 was La Yegro's first album called Viene de Mí. La Yegros was the first woman on the label, called her the queen of digital cumbia, and she kind of took first France by storm. We got a lot of traction on the radio in France with one of her songs, Viene de Mí, on Radio Nova, and that kind of just took it to the next level.
Yo no bailo la cumbia, abandono el suelo y me entrego al aire que vas dejando. Yo me convierto en tu deseo. Yo no rompí el cristal, fue la luna roja boca, la loba en celo. Fueron tus dedos que me tocaron y se volvieron. Viene de ti, viene de mí, viene del viento. No miento, es un sentimiento. Es un sentimiento. Viene de ti, viene de mí, viene del viento. No miento, es un sentimiento. Es un sentimiento. En San Fernando fumé un poquito, fue lluvia seca, no fue delito y que no necesito a nadie, yo te preciso. Dile que no rompiste la madrugada, que no te fuiste, que el despertar la próxima vez no será tan triste. Viene de ti, viene de mí, viene del viento, no miento, es un sentimiento, es un sentimiento. Viene de ti, viene de mí, viene del viento, no miento, es un sentimiento, es un sentimiento.
Another foundational album on the label, 2015, we released Nicola Cruz's debut album called Prender el Alma, and it was our first go at working in Ecuador, which was another before and after. It kind of opened the doors to a whole new territory and a whole new land and a whole new culture and a whole new sound that would become a crucial part of what we're doing today, which was exploring and releasing just some really beautiful Ecuadorian music.
La historia de una niña que nació del volcán, no le tiene miedo a nada, no. Apenas aprendí a caminar, me dejaron solita en la cascada.
So ZZK Records is celebrating its 10th year this year, 2018, and we're really having a big year. It finally feels like the label's also coming together, which is a beautiful, beautiful feeling. In June, we put out back-to-back albums from two amazing Argentine artists. One was Uji, who's a new producer who has been experimenting with folklore and traditional music from around Latin America for a really long time, from another band that he had called Lula Cruza, and then kind of broke out and did his own thing in the last couple of years and delivered an album that was really beautiful and mystical and magical. And so we put out Alborada in June.
ya. Venga la mandalaya. Acá y praca. Acá y capraca para.
And then right after that, the week later, we put out King Koya's second highly awaited album called Tierra de King Koya. And King Koya is Gabby Kerpel, another real pioneer in this scene, almost the godfather of this scene, experimenting with folklore music and electronics. He's been doing it since the 80s and 90s. Future ZZK and Aya Records plans. Aya is our new imprint that we birthed here in Ecuador, where I'm recording from. We're going to put out Nicola Cruz's second album early next year. We're going to put out Mateo Kingman's second album early next year. We're going to work on Rio Mida's second album. Also, we're talking to a bunch of new artists from around the continent, from Colombia, from Ecuador, from Argentina, and Bolivia. And we're getting those albums prepped and ready for a release sometime soon. Very excited to share those with everybody.
Artists can sometimes give us an interesting perspective.
Around again, another alphabet, because it's been great to be able to find out a bit more about what makes these record labels tick in 2018. And apart from a couple of difficult letters, I think N was quite a difficult letter, wasn't it? I remember there was a couple of letters that we were bold, we were stuck for a few weeks. But anyway, we got there, and we've certainly got plenty more to go around again. We're going to start again with the letter A in about 4 weeks' time. And that was ZZK, independent label from Buenos Aires. Thank you so much to LG Grand Duel. And all the best, celebrating 10 years.